And
this meeting is being recorded.
Forget task.
okay. Justina.
Hi, Becky.
Hi, sweetheart.
Today I have a question about Saturn. I want to look at it the same way as we looked at Pluto once. Like if Saturn is aspect of Gaia and part of us, like what aspect, body part it represents? Like what is his function? Like what does he reflect to us? How it affects us, Gaia, universe? And we know Saturn is a masculine energy. Like does he has a female counterpart? And if we look at Saturn from like old and compare from old and new world, like perspective, like conscious and unconscious realities, like what is his true potential, like what enlightened Saturn like would look like. In old world, Saturn represents like this father, karma, social order, like he rules time, matter, manifestation, and they show him like a giant clock, this man with a goat's head, this Baphomet, like, and yeah, this black satin cube.
Okay.
So what can we learn about it, like Gaia ourselves, and where he's now in the process and how it influences us and Gaia? Yeah.
Okay. Saturn.
Saturn.
Saturn. Okay, let's go and have a look. All planets in this universe is a reflection of what's within Gaia herself. As I go into the center of Gaia, she shows me Saturn. Just like the projections of yourself, it's physical, but actually what's creating the physicality is non-physical energy that lives within Gaia. All planets in your universe are a reflection of Gaia herself within herself. As she takes me to Saturn, the energy of Saturn, the non-physical energy, rather than in the simulation of the physical reality, it appears very small, a really small planet, a small energy. However, it's a very, she tells me, a very strong energy. She asks me to merge with the energy. Hang on. The frequency of Saturn is very low. It's a very low frequency. It's like a low bells going off. It's a like if you were in a choir or something, it's just a very low hum, a bass of frequencies. It is male. It brings around a stability for the other planets, a stability that finds the grounding and the base in order for the vibrations to vibrate. As I walk into Saturn, I am greeted by his energies. There's a friendly energy. He starts to inform me of the attacks that have taken place and what has happened in the physical reality that has squashed him down and unable for him to vibrate at the frequency that he naturally would have vibrated at. He tells me that the move of Gaia and the move of her going into her natural frequencies and moving out of the denser frequencies into her natural state of frequencies has also brought freedom for him. But during the incarnation, the imprisonment of him through the imprisonment of Gaia, there has been lots of anger that because of the entrapment he has felt, and he has placed that anger on Gaia. The dark energies have used his anger against Gaia and emphasized it. He's saying that his consciousness has, just like ours, has been in a state of evolution, and we have blamed life itself. He has blamed the life force, life itself, in what has happened, and has been unable to see the dark energies penetrating Gaia. And therefore, the lack of understanding, he has blamed who he calls his own mother. He's been very much gone through stages of victimization and abusing energies, and therefore his role of creating the grounding force for the energies, the frequencies within this universe, he has attacked the frequencies of the natural frequencies and destabilized the universe. He has inverted his energies, where the safety and the grounding has then turned into destabilization. The dark have used these frequencies in order to gain more access and penetrate further into Gaia, and not just Gaia, but this has affected all the planets. Not only through the evolution of Gaia, there's also what she's also brought is evolution of the planets, and then returning back or obtaining newer frequencies within themselves, just like each human is doing, that each human chooses to do. This is a very determined energy, a very strong energy. He's saying he's not perfect. The stability, the frequencies that he emits out goes wonky and wrong at times, as he's also healing, and therefore getting the frequencies in a coherent manner is something that he's working on. But he knows and believes that he will get there. He also is coming out of ego, as what kept him in a attacking mode towards Gaia has also created ego of believing he was more important than the other energies within Gaia that create the other planets. Therefore, he created a frequency of ego. That ego frequency is also a frequency that we have lived under here on Earth, as it's radiated out into our planet. That has also affected us. The anger, the ego, the denial, he says, and the self-pityness that has come from this planet has also been frequencies that humans and planet Earth and other frequencies from other planets have also experienced. Just asking what... This is an energy of also a protective energy. It protects. He's saying that everybody protects, all the planets protect one another. However, because he is a masculine energy, therefore the masculine energy is a natural protector. And what going from angry to abusive to self-pity to ego is turning into safety, protection, stability, understanding, awareness, empathy, compassion. He is also in the just like masculine energy, he's there to read energies, and therefore when everything is complete he will also be helping with the manifestation of the energies here on Earth. He's just showing me a dragon. I'm not sure what he's showing me. It's just a dragon energy. This planet is linked up to dragon energy. Dragon energy is, I don't know if we're going to go into that now, but there's connections between the dragons, dragon energy that has been used against us. But yeah.
And what body part he represents if we look at it as an...
What body part does
the body part
represent?
Yeah, like if we look at the universe as a body, like in or Gaia, like the aspect of Gaia, like the Pluto was the mental, like the mind, the masculine mind, and the Saturn, because I want to understand like what's the difference, like the Pluto was masculine mind and Saturn.
It would well, Saturn is also masculine, so it'd be part of the mind. Everything within a body, everything within a body is created either from the anything physical has to
His
be
aspect
from
of mind. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Becky.
Okay. You're welcome.
Bye.
Take care. Bye bye. Joe.
Hey.
Hi, Joe.
Hi.
Hi.
I just want to say love and support to you for, to you and Toto for losing your child. I want to send my love there. I know exactly. In fact, last week would have been the anniversary of my daughter that died long time ago in 1986. But I don't think I fully got the trauma faced until December of 2020. So, but I was really a Lego piece back in the 80s. But anyway, I wanted to tell you that. And also, well, I guess my question is kind of complex because a lot of it has to do with my belief system. I believe that we were originally given 12 strands of DNA here, and they've been 9 of them have been shut off. That's why we've got 3D. But the scientists call this junk DNA. But from what I understand, a lot of these things with the downloads from the sun and the uploads from the earth when we go earthing and things like this, and the energy that's coming to us is to clear these, because we're going to get them activated again. My question to you is, in our DNA, supposedly, and I want to get this confirmed, this is going to sound wacky, but we have a carbon body in 3D, but it just gets old after 100 years. And somewhere in our DNA, we are supposed to have activated a new body. And this new body is going to be much lighter. And it's made of crystalline, not carbon. And so we won't be aging and things like this. And because I'm old, I don't want to ever ask Gaia to put anything into something that doesn't exist, like time, and say when. That's just stupid to me. Soon is good, but soon could be 500 years to Gaia. I don't know. But I'd like you to ask, are we going to get our strands of DNA activated where we get a new body, crystalline body? I heard, on the 7th strand, your body auto corrects any disease or things like that, auto heals and things like this. But there's many different things to it. But the one thing I was interested in is, can I get a trade-in on this body? That's the thing. Is that
don't we
happen?
all? Okay. Okay, Joe. I'll go and ask myself. I'm really sorry to hear about your daughter. It's very sad. Okay. let's go and have a look at the process of our bodies and the change of our bodies. The physicality of your body and how your body is built is dependent on the masculine energy and how it reads the female energy. Who you are is in the feminine energy, and therefore the masculine energy has to read it, decode it in order to help create and express who you truly are through the physical body. Therefore, this process that you're in through the understanding who you are, it changes your body. This is done very in a process, on the process of your healing. The process of your healing, as you are aware, it takes time, it takes patience, it takes endurance, it takes the reflection of owning oneself and returning back to who you are. Through this process, what's actually happening is you start to be more entwined within yourself. You bring more of your heart energy into your physicality. You start to overturn the genetics that have been overlaid in your original genetics, hence the ET genetics. So every time you heal, you entwine your energy into you become part of the physical body instead of the physical body overlaying who you are. Therefore, you change your physical body through the healing of yourself, through the understanding of yourself. So the more you allow yourself to be who you truly are, the more you break down the beliefs of yourself, to break down the traumas of who you are, to release and let go, to forgive yourself and others, to really flourish in yourself, the more you naturally change your genetics. What this does, it changes the physical body. This can be very difficult to see as the process in itself is slow. The process feels slow as you are going through many low frequencies in order to change your natural frequency into what it should be. And therefore, looking back at photos and seeing truly who you are, seeing past who you were to you are now, if you've been on the healing journey, you will radiate more truly of who you are. These changes can actually be quite big. Not necessarily you can grow in height, you can smaller down, your feet sizes can change, lots of things can change that actually go out of the biological rules of a human body. That is because you are changing your genetics every time you allow your female consciousness to be balanced with your masculine consciousness. As I go on the road of a human journey, you are all turning into light beings. It feels like a forever journey as you are in the throes of it. You're expecting a switch, and that is part of what's the problem with some of the new age information. You're expecting this to be done for you, or the skies to open and the world to change. This is because many of the information that has come through, it's been very difficult for the human mind to understand the process of what's going on with the human race. It's very difficult to understand, and therefore very simplistic ways of understanding this has been brought forward. However, the process of turning into a more crystalline energy is a process that everybody is working on.
I don't have it.
If you can turn the I don't know who that is. I don't know.
Sorry, it's me, Becky.
Oh, right. I see how. on a roll there. I've lost myself. So as you walk forward, I'm just saying walking forward. Things will, it's very also difficult to see because you have not see the actually what you would look like today if you hadn't done the healing. But it is the people that have learned to journey. If they've learned to journey or know how to do this, or have learned through Becky's courses, my courses, then you will also be able to do a journey on what it would be, what you would look like today without the healing. You will probably find that you are much older, that the genetics that they interfered with, the ET genetics that came in, many of these genetics was to degenerate the physical body. They wanted to shorten the life of the human race in order for you to make it more difficult for you to remember who you are. They wanted you like slaves. So they also shortened that through the genetics. This brought aging and health conditions to the physical body. These conditions to the body made the body far more of a struggle to be alive and to flourish in the physical reality. And with the lack of feminine energy coming through the body because of the traumas that they started off, then it has also, that has been your life force and therefore hasn't merged with the genetics. The human heart, the human has rejected the genetics and hasn't entwined in it. And therefore, part of the, also a conspiracy to get you to pair up with an ET race is also you to reject your own genetics. You need to embrace your true self, which will naturally overturn your genetics. The strands that you talk about is there's a lack of truth in it, or there is truth, but it's not exactly how it is presented. Your strands of DNA, as you call it, is the manipulated strands that they have done through the ET operations. They have manipulated 12 strands in the DNA of the human race. These 12 strands that you're trying to wake up only wake up individually through your own awakening of who you are. It will not come from the heavens or the skies or anything like that. It will come from yourself through your awakening and the ha-ha moments and the forgiveness and understanding your life path. These will overturn the strands of the 12 DNAs to embrace truly who you are, instead of the 12 strands pulling you down into an alien frequency that is not naturally you. You have all this beautiful energy already in you. You don't have to wait to awaken up. This is naturally occurring every time you reflect, every time you understand, every time you forgive, every time you embrace your life to your wants, to your needs, to your desires. Every time you stand in your power, every time you believe and trust in your path, you overturn the negative alien DNA to truly who you are. This can be done at any minute, any second, every day, every month, every year. You don't have to wait. There is also part of the conspiracy is to get you to wait. This is to take away your power, to believe that you're waiting for something massive to happen. But something massive has happened and it's there for your takings. You can embrace truly the power of who you are as it's all within you. You can believe and trust in yourself and allow that energy to embody your physical body. Only there will you truly have the decoding equipment, the masculine energy to decode who you are, to embrace truly yourself. Not only will you connecting to yourself, but you're connecting all to the collective of this universe. You're connecting to all the beautiful souls on this path that is also walking with you. You're connecting to the multi-universe that is also connected to everything that is. You are connecting to the oneness. When you are connecting to the alien DNA, you are connecting to the dark energy. You are connecting to the greed, the guilt, the lies, the manipulation. You're connecting to the unknowingness, the unconsciousness. You are connecting to everything that is not you. Is that okay? I could go on to that for a bit longer, but I hope that helps, Joe.
Yeah, it did. Thank you so much. I was kind of curious. I'm going to have to play it back. I got a little bit bad internet connection, and a couple times you broke up. It was like one time the voice that came on, and you were talking about the crystalline body, which I was waiting for, and then somebody else broke in or something. So maybe I could pick up on it on the replay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you do. I'll get it uploaded tonight. Okay. Thanks, Joe, for your question. Big hugs to you. Amber.
Hi, Becky. Big hugs to you.
Big hugs to you, honey.
Thanks.
How can I help, sweetheart?
So what I wanted to ask you about tonight is it's actually a question that comes from my son, who is almost 15 years old. And I talk to him about some of these things, you know, try to talk to him at his level without, you know, scaring him too much. But so we've talked about how there's this split going on, you know, and this whole new earth concept and all that. And the one thing he keeps talking about that he's so concerned about are his friends. You know, he has friends that are just completely asleep, of course. And we talk about how, you know, there'll be some people that will be in the old world and some people that'll be in the new world. And it's a difficult concept of like, when is it going to reach a point where like there are certain people that we just might not see anymore? Like, are they literally just going to disappear from our lives? And what's that going to look like? And yeah, so it's a confusing thing to try to explain to him, and I don't even fully understand it myself. So I guess if I could just get some more clarity on that so I can share it with him. And
yeah, cool. Yeah, I can do that for him. Bless him. The process that the human race is on is a process of entwining themselves with their physical body. That means they're more led and more balanced with their heart energy. The unawakened or the unconscious are more balanced. They're lacking of the feminine energy. They don't listen to it. They believe what they've read in the media. They believe the lies and the manipulation. They don't want to wake up to themselves. They don't want to reflect on who they are. They have chosen not to evolve. They have chosen to walk the path of not evolving and not taking responsibility and empowerment in their own reality. This has created a split of the people of this world. It has created a split where a natural two collectives have happened, and the two collectives that is taking place is the people on the unconscious collective and people on the path of consciousness. This doesn't mean at the moment that you won't see the unconsciousness in your reality. It just means that you will see them and you can interact with them, but they're on a different circuit board. Therefore, how their manifestation of their reality is on a different frequency to your frequency, and this will continue. This continuation will also will start to split, and therefore people will start to be only surrounding themselves with people, conscious people. They will interact with them far more. So the people on the conscious side will interact with people on the conscious side. It will naturally take place. It's a natural thing that will happen. And the unconscious people will also just connect with the unconscious people. It's a bit like magnets, and where conscious people will attract consciousness people and unconscious people will attract unconsciousness people. What you will see in your reality is when the old reality is falling and starts to fall, there may be a complete denial of this in the unconscious reality. They may not even wake up at all. It may be so zombified that they don't even react, where they will also have the opposite side where they'll react and go into complete panic mode. That panic mode is a good mode to go, as it is a start of the process of waking up. But the people on the heart consciousness side will may also see the downfall of the physical reality, but they won't be affected by the energies of it. It won't have the same effect, as the frequency of this conscious reality will be at a frequency of the unconscious reality. It's like being in a different country or a different world. It won't be affected. You may see it on your TV, or you may hear about it through other channels, but you're not going to be affected by it. Now, this concept is a very difficult concept for people to grasp, because you are still learning about the manifestation of your physical reality. Your physical reality and how you manifest this, and how even your old children manifest this, is down to their energies. If you are in an unconscious reality where you believe you are a victim, you go around blaming, you believe that the politicians, the banks, the schools, the structure have control over your reality, then you give your power away to that reality. Therefore, you are servant to that reality. That means you're going to react to the energies of that reality when it's crumbling down. You are going to be in fear, as you have not stepped into your power. As the conscious reality carries on walking and carries on waking up, you will start to understand more of the manifestation and how empowered you are in your own manifestation. You will start to realize there's no victimization in your reality, that you are part of a whole big system that is learning and teaching and helping you to evolve. Therefore, every situation is to learn and grow from, and every situation you are supported by the collective, a collective that wants the best for everybody. Unfortunately, with the unconscious reality, they are connected to a system that doesn't want the best for them. They want the disempowerment, they want the pain, they want the struggle, they want the service to others to remain the same. They want the religions to take place and hope that the heavens open up and that will save them. Unfortunately, they have to learn the hard way that that is not going to happen, and that the power has been and always will be within inside them. This is a difficult concept to take in when you have been brainwashed the opposite. This is a concept that you're all coming out of, the people that have chosen to. And therefore, it doesn't matter if the banks fall or the politicians fall or everything falls. It is actually a good thing, because the people of the positive reality create their own reality. You will have the financial support. You will have, because you are the support of yourself. You allow the support in, and you allow the collective to support you on your journey, to help you to evolve and to grow. Therefore, please tell your son not to worry. It will naturally happen. He may his frequencies may enjoy his friends. Don't worry, don't be scared. his frequency is actually helping them wake up. They're attracted to higher frequencies, as everyone is attracted to higher frequencies. This is a natural part of the human race, as you are come here to evolve. Therefore, higher frequencies you are naturally attracted to. So where he feels he's not helping his friends, he is. Where he's felt like he's disempowered with his friends, he's actually empowering himself by the understanding of himself and awareness of himself, and that is empowering his friends. They are affected by his frequencies. Those frequencies that he emits off has an undercurrent effect of the unconscious onto them without them consciously aware of it, or even your son aware of it. So tell him he is helping his friends wake up. He is of value. And because he is aware of different things rather than his friends, it doesn't mean they're not on the journeying of awakening or evolving. It doesn't mean that they're going to disappear or go off a cliff and die or anything like that. He can enjoy his friendships, as he's a beautiful boy. I can see that in his energies, and he is a light, and therefore the frequencies that he emits is also helping his friends to grow as well.
Thank you. You just made me cry, but that was beautiful. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Big hugs to you.
You too. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Yannick. Yannick?
Yep. Hey, Becky.
Hi. Hi.
Oh,
how can I
I'm
help,
sorry.
sweetie?
1 second. So, okay, now I should hear you. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yep.
cool. I'm sending you the biggest hugs. I read the email. I have no words. I just want to really send you a big hug. I'm so sorry.
Thank you. Thank you, Yannick.
Yeah. My question is a very ordinary one. I would love to know the effects of Bluetooth, since like a lot of like we have AirPods and we have like noise canceling headphones, all of which use Bluetooth. And I'm wondering, what are the effects of Bluetooth, like being so close to our brains and basically permeating, going through our brains, and if that's negative, or when that is negative.
Okay.
Thank you.
So Bluetooth as in internet music kind of thing.
Yeah, like what you could, for example, look at Apple AirPods.
Apple AirPods. Okay. Apple AirPods. Effects of Apple AirPods. The right side of the brain, so the right ear, when an AirPod goes in, what I see is a redness around the scalp, and that also affects the brain. It is a vibration that it's a very strong vibration. How does this affect? So what I'm seeing is, like I see the ear, I see the right brain. It affects the left side differently. So I see the right brain, and then I see just all this redness. So it's like an irritation to a inflammation to the brain. What this does, it affects the hearing, the individual's hearing. Where the hearing becomes impaired, and that the sound that the individual used to listen to comfortably will have to be risen, as it affects the nerve endings within the ear, but also in the areas of the brain that affect the hearing. It is a stressful as well. So the stress that the brain is under it causes other parts of the brain to be stressed out, which will have an effect on your interaction with the people around you. So what I'm seeing is the irritation that you feel, it can irritate the brain, and therefore you'll feel irritated within yourself. just asking for long-term effects. So what long-term effects is that it decreases your hearing, and that the continuation of this, that the hearing aids are going to go up a lot. The what I'm seeing is that more information, or medical information that has been suppressed, will be released around this technology. And I'm seeing the drawback of this technology. This is going to come, actually, many technologies that is going to take place over the course of the future years. You're going to realize that technology is actually a weapon against the human body. And as it's weaponized and used as an everyday thing for the humans to experience their reality in, the path of the awakened path that wish to evolve will start to reject it. It will have a very different effect on the unconscious reality. They will try to actually bring on more technology in their reality to replace the lacking of the feminine energy. What will start to happen, the more you entwine yourselves within your body, the more you'll realize the effects of the technology. But I do see papers coming forward also of the effects of technology, as everything is being exposed and will continue to be exposed to the masses of this reality. It seems like Bluetooth is far more stronger than, say, the wires that people get. Because when I look at those, it still has an effect, but it's like 20% compared. It's very low, but it still irritates. It still affects the hearing, but it's at a very low grade. Where the Bluetooth one is very negative to the mental side of the individual. Does that help?
Yes, totally.
Yeah.
As a little question, when you talk about technology, you mean like smartphones, iPads, like you don't mean like something like a stereo speaker or something, like we're talking about like modern technology. Wi-Fi.
Yeah, modern technology. So what I'm seeing is airwaves, different airwaves going through the atmosphere that you don't see. I just heard the word, just saw the word silent killers.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. You take care. Alex.
Hi, Becky.
Hi, Alex.
Hey, sorry, did you say something?
Oh, how can I help?
Oh, yeah, so it sounded like you had some understanding coming through before in regards to dragons. So yeah, I'm curious about dragons, and I don't know, maybe you might want to finish off where you was going there. And also in regards to dragons, like I know that we can often see dragons a lot in meditations, and I know that our philosophers often refer to dragons as being somewhat symbolic of our fears. So I was wondering, what it means when we do see dragons, like what could be the symbol, or if it means that there is some kind of, corruption in our consciousness or something. So yeah, if you can shed some light on that as well. Yeah.
Okay. The original energy of dragons doesn't pertain into this universe. It never has. However, the dragons was brought forward by the Watchers. They entrapped the dragon energy, the frequency of the dragons, and as slaves, they brought these dragons into their universe and used and abused them in order for a result of magic. They used this energy as a source, also a source of black magic, to invert the frequencies that the dragons created in order for spells, they're used in demonic energies to yucky stuff, satanic stuff. This, because the Watchers lacked the feminine energy, they had no magic within themselves. In order to create magic, they've had to steal, they've had to rape it, they've had to murder for it. And this is of no difference. The energies that they've used in their rituals to everyday life in order to create the reality that they want, they have used energies from sources that is not naturally theirs. Unfortunately, the dragons have, through the exactly what they've done to the human race on this planet, they have turned humans against one another. And that is also what they've done to the dragons. They've turned different races of dragons on one another, got them to fight and to forget their natural state of being. This has brought the dragon energy into our reality and has got us to perceive dragon energy as negative or positive, depending on the folklores to the stories that you hear. However, there is no dragon that is naturally negative. It is a being just like you and me that have been manipulated and abused, and therefore behind that abuse and manipulation that they've been through is pure energy of pure heart. They have, just like us, where they've come from a beautiful reality and it's been attacked through the dark forces of that's next to our universe. And therefore, they are also on their evolutionary path of finding themselves, and also have made great strides and evolutionary steps in going back to their true selves over the years of the abuse that they've suffered and stepping back into their power. There has been beautiful journeys that Gaia has done with them, and they are on good steed with Gaia as the help of the dragons and also Gaia herself. They're connected up to the lighter frequencies, and therefore they are on the frequencies of evolution. Therefore, the dragon energies, the perceptions that have been made also need to be cleared, as it does not represent them in its entirety, as you have never seen or experienced the dragon energy in its natural form. And therefore, the stories and the folklores that you have heard is not coming from a natural empowered place that they are naturally are. Just like the human race, if you pick up a human being and you show the genetic history of the humans without the backstory of the human race, you would judge, you would come to many different conclusions without understanding the bigger concept of what's taking place. Therefore, if you do see dragon energy within your energies, it may be many different reasons. The best way is to ask, as it will pertain especially to you. It doesn't mean that it's negative, and anything that is you perceive as negative needs to be found out, as all negativity can be transformed into an understanding that will bring a much more calm energy to oneself. Sorry, I'm just having a look at, see if I can help you a little bit. The dragon energy has also been entwined in some of individuals' DNA. The individual's DNA, just like ETs, have been entwined, and therefore some of the dragon energy comes from, some of the DNA comes from the dragon energy, and that might just be what you're experiencing. However, that is not you, and you shouldn't identify yourself. And this is unfortunately what many people do. They identify themselves with the dragon frequency. This can be helpful, and you can understand your history of your genetics. However, it is not you. The part of the conspiracy is to keep the DNA as it is, and therefore identifying people with dragons to other ETs, then people are reluctant to overturn that frequency because they identify with a certain race. But what's actually happening is denying who you truly are. You are beings of light. You are bright light that needs to entwine into their bodies, and therefore any energies of dragons to ETs to is part of your evolution to overturn those frequencies, that you own your body and not the genetics that have once been placed in your genetic line. Does that help?
Yes, it does. Thank you, Becky. It's perfect.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Richard.
Hello, Rebecca.
Hello, Richard.
Thank you
How
for
can I
doing
help,
this.
sweetheart?
So I'm
Okay.
learning about masculine healing and feminine healing. And so I guess my question is, would you please take a look at the frequency of ecstasy and just tell me whatever you want to know? Or whatever.
The drug ecstasy.
No, the frequency, like bliss, ecstasy, like the concept of ecstasy.
Ecstasy as in
Like a
like
feeling.
the feeling of ecstasy.
Yeah. Is that doable?
Yeah, I'm just trying to, have you experienced this feeling of ecstasy in
Sure, yeah.
Do you mean like happiness or joy or?
Well, I guess what I mean is like masculine healing and feminine healing. So like the way I'm thinking about it is like ecstasy is more like feminine healing type, like being in bliss and allowing that to come through in that way.
Trying to understand what you're. So you're trying to, how do we get a natural high? Is it like that?
Yeah, I suppose, and then also use it for healing.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
Okay, let's go and have a natural highs. Okay. There are many ways of getting a natural high in your physical reality through the entwinement of the masculine and the feminine. The biggest entwinement of the masculine and feminine, the biggest energy that is affected in the physical brain and what connects the masculine and the feminine is your sexuality. It's allowing your sexuality to move through your body and accepting what comes through your body. This should be a very natural thing for many people, but unfortunately through the religions and the traumas that you've experienced, this is not as easy as everybody would like to believe, as the breakdown of the masculine and feminine has come through the actual division through the sexuality, the traumas that have taken place. But your natural ecstasy, the natural high, the natural a boom inside the brain where the two energies combine in harmony is through this sexuality. This sexuality is far more intensified when you share your sexuality with somebody that is completely compatible with yourself, where there's love, respect, everything that comes with love involved in it, where you are completely in line with one another, where understanding and with one another is there. This actually ignites not only one's left and right brain, but each other. And what you would call ecstasy would be experienced. The ecstasy is when all the heightened right side of the brain is high, receives all the energy that the heart wishes to give. It makes the physical body fully alive, fully all the cells, all the physical body becomes completely enlightened. In fact, this is part of your enlightenment. Your enlightenment is also it has a huge entwine in sexuality, as your sexuality brings yourself into the physical body. It is where the mind decodes the female energy, and the female energy is seen and heard and felt. And through those energies combining together and the awareness of self that happens, enlightenment is achieved. It is not sitting on a hill meditating. It is actually a long journey, but your sexuality is very much entwined in this journey. The heightened of self and the heightened of frequencies, you actually invite the frequencies into your body through your sexuality. And this is why they've attacked sexuality so much, because the bringing on of sexuality invites the higher frequencies in. The frequencies that overturn the genetics, overturn the traumas, overturn the belief structures of oneself. This is an energy that unites the masculine and the feminine together, and therefore it has become a threat. Therefore, getting comfortable with your sexuality and being comfortable with your emotions, as it is your emotions that carry your sexuality, it's all part of the same. It is not being frightened of your emotions. For the masculine itself, for the man of this planet, they have to understand that the emotions is what they have, and in order to allow that energy to run through their bodies. Therefore, they will also be allowed to accept the sexuality that also comes through. You can't accept your sexuality and deny your emotions. If you deny your emotions, you also deny your sexuality. You dampen it down, you suppress it, you reduce it. Therefore, accepting your emotions and your emotional life and your true wants and your true needs and your true desires is also accepting your sexuality. Is all part of the same thing. You can't accept one and deny the other, as it will all be affected. If you deny your emotions, you also deny the opportunity of ecstasy, of pure pleasure, of pure knowing of oneself, of enlightenment. It is all part of the same thing. Does that help, Richard?
It does indeed. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Tanya.
Hi, darling.
Hi, sweetheart. How can I help, sweetie?
I'm sending you big, big hugs from my heart.
Thank you.
I would like to ask you about what is talent. Is very important talent, very relevant? You know, I would like to sing, but I'm very bad at it. So is learning and practice can replace talent, or is something very necessary to be very good at something.
Well, our natural talents.
Yes.
Like that we naturally possess inside.
Yes.
Sure.
Thank you.
Welcome. Talents are natural gifts that we all possess inside. Your natural gifts that they reside within your consciousness. Your gifts are energies, frequencies that you've played with not only in this life but also in your past lives. Those frequencies never die, and therefore the frequencies that you have learned in your previous lives and previous or your current lives, as you're living many lives at the same time, those frequencies can come down at specific times in your life. You can invite them in. This will bring round a need, a want, or a desire to understand these frequencies and teach yourself. Natural talents can be very confused as you feel like you can naturally do something. And yes, the natural talent is within the heart. However, the masculine mind, the mental mind, has to learn the natural talent that you naturally have. And therefore, learning is also part of learning your talents. You may naturally know these talents, but they have to be skilled and worked on in the physical reality. You'll naturally know how to live. You've done it many, many times. You've lived many lives. You've gone through many relationships. You've gone through different roles. Most of you have been mothers, fathers, sons, daughters. You've played many roles. However, the mental mind has to relearn the different frequencies that the heart gives and the environment around it gives. Therefore, your natural talents the mental mind has to learn. You can stimulate this learning from outside in to learning what the natural heart wishes to teach you. Your natural teacher is actually your heart first. Once everybody starts to really realize the natural teacher is yourself, then life becomes so much more easier and fun. However, you can stimulate your learnings through the desires of the physical world. Therefore, if you wake up and you wish the desire to learn to play the piano and you feel very drawn to this, that could be a talent, then do it. If everybody did the natural things that come to them, they will realize there are many talents that lie within them. Your heart is trying to teach you every day, and it passes this energy onto the mind. Therefore, it may take time for the mind to learn, and the patience that is needed, the patience that can sometimes be amiss within the human race. The heart can like things instantaneously, or the mind can have great high expectations of oneself and therefore give up these natural talents of experiencing them in the physical reality, in your reality again. And therefore people give up their natural talents. However, if you persevere and don't give up, because it naturally takes time for the brain to learn to understand the natural talents, as you persevere, you will embrace it and your natural talents come through. Just like driving, you learn and you learn and you learn and you learn, but it's not until the outside teacher goes away that you naturally take on your natural stance of learning. You have many lives of learning how to drive a car. However, you still have to relearn in the physical life. Your heart knows already, but the mind has to relearn. You have many natural abilities within you. The biggest thing that destroys them is giving up and not doing it and not listening to your heart. You are all Picassos, you're all top musicians, you have the abilities within you. You share these natural talents not only within your own consciousness at your soul level, but with each other. Therefore, the frequencies of a talent can be passed over to a other soul to bring down that frequency into this reality. Therefore, the talent that comes through, you all have the same talents. Isn't that amazing? It's up to you whether to experience those talents or not.
Thank you. So we share talent. So amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye. Victoria.
Hey, Becky.
Hey, sweetheart.
Hello. I got a question for you today on this, the highly sensitive person. It's kind of a buzzword in healing circles. And I'm wondering whether it's like a buzzword like, you know, empath, narcissist, or it's actually like a real thing. Because I think I identify as one, but I don't know if it's just you become highly sensitive through trauma or you come in just having a very sensitive nervous system. Could you just take a look around what a highly sensitive person?
Highly sensitive person, so the frequencies, emotions.
They're just more highly attuned, yeah, and they can pick up things, much more sensitive to things. Their nervous system is much more reactive.
Okay, so is this natural, or is this part of the evolution, or is this trauma kind of thing?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. The two frequencies that are entwining in your reality, the feminine and the masculine is actually the highly sensitive frequency. The masculine is the right side of your brain is highly sensitive to frequencies around, and if it's destabilized or not, if it's lacking feminine energy in certain parts of the brain, it becomes even more sensitive. As the sensitivity of the masculine energy reduces through the feminine energy coming involved. Therefore, the sensitivity that is felt one-on-one, this is one picture of it, can actually be through the lack of feminine energy in the body. And therefore, what I'm seeing is areas of the right side of the brain is lacking in feminine energy and is on higher alert as it is on survival mode. Therefore, any frequency that comes at it through the environment that one lives in is because the brain is in survival, then it is more on guard and more feeling sensitive to the environment. When areas of the brain are far more entwined with the feminine energy, and the feminine energy feels safe and protected and secure, then the frequencies that come in is a chosen choice. The world doesn't feel like you're under attack, and you feel more empowered within your body, and therefore the highly sensitive person becomes a person of power, a person that wishes to interact with frequencies rather than being bombarded by frequencies. So the highly sensitive person is in one instant actually a lack of feminine energy, which can be brought on by trauma or just a state of being of that day where things have gone wrong and you're more on a mental high alert. On the second one, let's have a look, because it just feels that's one picture. On another picture, in another part, is for a highly sensitive person is when the heart is in trauma. It wishes to hide, it doesn't wish to interact with the physical reality, and therefore sees the physical reality, a perception of male energy to trauma energy to the physical reality I don't want to interact with. If the frequency is overrun in that frequency where I don't want to be in physical reality, then everything will be, that could be, make a person highly sensitive to their surroundings. As You're telling yourself you don't want to be here, and therefore any energy coming outside in would be an attack or highly sensitive. Let's just look at another thing. If you've got a sensitive, if you're highly sensitive and you feel sensitive to other people's energies, it's actually something within yourself that needs to be addressed. Highly sensitive is also can just be part of your makeup that you need to understand more in order to not reject. Part of the journey of evolution is becoming more sensitive to yourself and to your environment, but it's not a state of being that always has to be. It is a state of being that becomes aware that you are becoming more conscious of yourself and that you're moving through the energies, but don't see it as an attack. This, as you start to see, is it what they can label this, then people bring on these labels and then stay in that label. That label then can manifest in many different ways, and then people don't move outside of that box. As you're telling yourself, I'm sensitive, I'm in other people's energies, or I'm sensitive, my skin's sensitive, you're creating a belief for yourself. I wouldn't do that. It's how you're feeling at the time, and understanding why you're sensitive in that day, that time of the now, will help you move through the sensitivity and be far more stronger in your energies. Therefore, highly sensitive person actually does not exist. It's waves of being human, and the sensitivity can go up and down just like your mood. And therefore, labeling yourself in this way can be very dangerous, as it will keep you in a box that can actually cause more damage to yourself, to your psyche, than any goodness.
Wow, that's really interesting. So it kind of falls a little bit into that narcissist, like I'm an empath, I'm highly sensitive. Like it restricts you because you put yourself in this little box you can't get out of, and you function in the world out of this little box.
Yeah. It must be a spin word by psychologists at the minute.
I'm noticing it's like, if you look up those YouTube videos, it's always like, are you an empath? Are you a highly sensitive person? Like it's just become this trendy thing. But I was always just wondering if it is really a thing. It sounds like it's.
I mean, if I look at myself, if I, dealing with trauma or going through shit, I naturally go more on my mental side, and therefore I'm more alert, and then I'm far more sensitive to other people's energies. That's just, it doesn't mean, once I've sort of become balanced within myself, I'm fine. But if people identify, they can, I've spoken to people one-to-ones, and they don't leave their home, and they don't connect to people. It's, because of, having some bad times. So you can definitely make it.
That it's like an ebb and flow rather than like putting yourself, like limiting yourself, Yeah, cool.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Leslie.
Hello, Becky.
Leslie, hi, sweetheart.
Please get the rest you need. Don't worry about us. I have a question that goes back to 1969. I read this book yesterday on the plane.
Mm-hmm.
It's about Mary Jo Kopechne, but her name is actually pronounced Mary Jo Kopechne, according to the book. Anyone on this call who was around then will know about this. She died in Martha's Vineyard, and it was involving Senator Ted Kennedy. And the whole story was squelched because the truth could never come out of what really happened. I can tell you more, or do you just want to take a look?
Can you tell me a little bit more? So,
Sure.
yeah, because this is American history, isn't it? So
Yes.
who is she and such?
So she was 29 years old, and she worked in DC with Robert F. Kennedy, the brother of John Kennedy, who had been murdered. And she loved him. And then when he died, she hooked up with this Senator Kennedy in Massachusetts just because she was so close to the family and was into politics. So now they're having like a little party in Martha's Vineyard, which is this very she place off the coast where, fancy people go in the summer. and she lost her life. She was her parents' only child. They were actually from this area where I am, and that struck me as interesting. They were devastated, and they never found out what really happened because it was all squelched, because they didn't want the truth coming out, because Senator Kennedy was supposed to run for president. So even this book doesn't really know what happened. So I said, I'm going to ask Becky.
Oh, yeah. Okay. What's her name again?
Mary Jo.
Mary Jo. Mary Jo. Okay, let's see if she'll talk to us. Mary Jo, Mary Jo. Okay, I have an energy, really soft, gentle energy. She's very, very feminine. She's showing me the beginning of her life here on Earth. What I see is a lot of reptilian energy in the DNA. So she's saying surrounded by it. The surroundings by the reptilians. So it's the attack on the feminine itself. A lot of fear that she's saying that she pertained more on the political side because of the family line. It was what was expected of her. It was the family that she was born into. Reptilian energies within the family. It's just so it's very strong within her. It's really dense energies. Hang on, I'm just going to step back a little bit. I'm just going to ask about her death. She wants me to go through her life. Hang on. There's mind control in her history. She's showing me as a young child receiving mind control. Her life was planned, designed. Freedom wasn't obtained in this life. It was always controlled by puppets on a string. She may have believed she had free choice, but that wasn't what she experienced. And it wasn't until after her death she realized how, chest pains, controlled she was. Really crappy energies in this. She had to squash herself in order to pertain to what they wanted from her. And I feel there's programming of sex programming in this lady. There was one side of this like professional woman, but also on the other side, she was a sex toy. The two didn't really go together, and because of the mind programming, she didn't remember many events in her life as the programming would take over, and she wouldn't remember who she'd been with. This is kind of very similar to a Marilyn Monroe, but not so. It's like a very programmed woman. So the one side of her life, of the sex life, wasn't something that she remembered. It was like an unconscious thing that was taking place. Anyway, and the more political life that she got, there's lots of proudness and accolades from family members, father kind of thing. That was. she was killed. Seeing a stabbing in her chest. Rage, anger from a male. Through something very small, nothing. Disrespect. There were sexual encounters with this male. It wasn't planned, it wasn't a sacrifice, it wasn't. This male is a very reppy energy. And the secrecy around her death, this man who killed her, killed her after sex or during sex. I'm not sure. He believed she disrespect, humiliated him or something along those lines, and he lost it, went into a rage and stabbed her. The body would never be recovered because the body was taken, and it's like mafia energy. They chop the bodies up. This man has killed many. This is a dangerous man. I see that the body was fed to pigs. She's saying, I lived a life in a pool of sharks, and those sharks I got eaten by. It wasn't a happy life. It was a very sad life. I never achieved any real happiness. I didn't actually live my life. I lived many of these reptilian lives, believing I was working for something that was true and of good, but I was under a huge amount of manipulation, abuse that was so bad that I wasn't even aware of. Who can imagine that your own parents would put you under so much pain and misery? They didn't even realize. It's like being in a sausage factory and everyone's part of it, and no one questions the insanity of what we're doing on a daily basis. I'm now living again. I'm living a life here on earth. I am still have energies, reppy energies, but I'm working on. I am part of the new reality where evolution and forgiveness. I'm not of a name, but I am a human being. I am a woman. I know my worth, and I am living life and living it from my heart as best as I can.
Wow, very interesting. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. You take care.
You too. Take care.
Jim.
Hi, Becky.
Hi, Jim.
So,
how can I help?
I'm doing well. I have a question for you. Can you explain animal spirits as in how they operate within consciousness, meaning controlling or supporting individual species or individual animals? For instance, a dog sometimes is expressed as unconditional love, and if they get unconditional love in return, there's a concept that they could evolve out of the animal's spirit into, let's say, a higher evolution like a human. And then the last part would be something along the lines of what's understood when a person associates with a specific animal spirit. Does it mean like they feel they share the frequency or character traits of that animal? So I know it's like anything to do with the animal spirits and how it translates into how we operate within them.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Every frequency of animals is a frequency of Gaia that is within Gaia. These frequencies are designated to certain parts of the physical reality in order to help balance and grow and to evolve and to express Gaia through many different forms that she has here on Earth. these frequencies bring around your ecosystem and help connected to everything that is, the plants, the trees, the life force here on Earth. The realization of the animals here on Earth and how connected they are to everything that is, then it is absolutely mind-blowing the treatment that animals receive. However, through the evolution of the human race and the evolution of Earth and animals themselves, that connection will get clearer and clearer and clearer on a daily basis. That the changes to the animal kingdom, the insects, the everything that is, will also change in how they are looked after and appreciated in your reality. However, there are animal frequencies that come to you that you are a part of. You are a representation of not only yourself, but Gaia also. And that representation, Gaia, if you're feeling a pull towards certain frequencies in the animal kingdom, that frequency is likelihood a reflection of a frequency that you're trying to understand within yourself. And that frequency is worth investigating. For instance, if you reflect on your favorite animal, an animal that you may have not even seen in real life, but an animal that you may have seen, an animal that that you have always felt connected to or a love for, and that animal is of a certain frequency. When you ask the question why you love that animal so much and what you love about that animal and what that animal represents, it is likelihood that animal is a frequency that you hold within. You are attracted to yourself ultimately, and the attraction to self is also the attraction to the frequencies that are on the outside of you. These frequencies is also to waken up the natural frequencies that you have within. Therefore, if you have sorry, my slides are going a bit weird because I'm just like looking at myself because I'm like always feel like fascinated by elephants, and I've had this fascination since I was a little girl, but I thought that might be because of Dumbo, and I love Dumbo when I was little. So I was just looking at the elephants and what does that mean. The elephant family, for instance, the elephant family is a family, a unit where love and compassion is for each and every one. They are highly sensitive beings, that the empathy and the compassion that they have for one another and for all of the other races is expressed through their beings. So even though they're not fluffy and they don't look as pretty, they do have that energy that radiates out from them. And therefore the love of these beautiful mammals is also felt. It is a heart animal, an animal that mostly expresses the feminine energy through it. Not all animals like this, more masculine species to the feminine species. And the species of the elephant is mostly feminine, expressed through the physical body. With animals of domestic animals, the pets that you have, that's very different. These animals can be brought in by yourself. As you share your frequencies with the domestic animals, they become part of you. They become who you are as you share your consciousness with that animal. And some animals can actually just pertain you right from the beginning. You may have asked for support outside of yourself and asked for that through an animal. And the animal can open up your heart and bring you more love into yourself, where you perceive kindness and unconditional love and comfort that you can't obtain in other areas of your life. It is a way of also helping you evolve. Opening up your heart is also opening up your left side of the brain and bringing more of the left energy into the physical body. Therefore, the rise of the domestic animal has increased over time. If you look at the domestic animals and look at your animals and how you've changed over time as a human race, you have used what was once working animals into pets and become part of the family, as is in even a child would be, as the love and the respect and the unconditional love that you give and that animal gives is also part of your evolution of understanding that everything is connected. The animals themselves can feel everything that the human being can feel. It understands so much more, as it doesn't have the mental mind that distracts him from the daily living, of the manipulation and the bright lights that distract you from yourself. They're far more centered and grounded, and therefore they are far more pick up the emotions, and therefore the emotions of the human can transfer to the animal that you care for. This can be good and this can be bad. The stress that you place upon yourself, the animal can also take, just like the child. Your children live in your energies, and they live in the energies that you are expressing or living in, and therefore they go into that frequency. Your animals are also come in as natural healers, and many animals, cats and dogs, naturally heal you because they open up your heart. They open up your natural healing energies. They also can take away the negative energies that you feel, but they also need help sometimes releasing those negative energies. They're also there to appreciate life, as generally their life is short, much shorter than human beings, and that is painful, but it is also part of the life and death circle that unfortunately is very painful, but also wakes you up to living more and benefits coming from it, of appreciation, love, support, connections. If you lived forever, you would not understand that you are non-physical beings. If you lived forever, you would not understand that you can't live forever in the human form, that you have many things to do here on this planet, and many on other planets or this planet, and many things to learn, that life is short, that can be enjoyed and appreciated. If people, animals didn't go over to the other side, then you would not appreciate the non-physical reality or understand yourself in the depths that you do, and the depths of where you're going, or the depths of where you'll be as you go on in your physical life. If no one died in your physical life, you wouldn't have the knowledge or the understanding that you have huge connections outside of this physical reality. You are connected and supported in a way that you cannot even imagine. If you could see it and feel it all at once, it would be mind-blowing. The support and love that everybody has, that is behind them in the non-physical reality. This non-physical reality is there, and the passing of loved ones to animals is also helping you remind the support and love that you have, that everything that feels lost in the physical is never really lost. It's always there in your heart, and to keep connected to your heart and your emotional life, as nothing is ever truly lost. Therefore, the animals in your reality play a massive part in your connection into the non-physical. They are a representation of how you treat yourselves and how much you love yourself. When you are in your reality and all the animals are balanced and radiate an energy, you know that you as a human race are also of balance and where you're meant to be. Does that help? I hope that helps, Jim.
It did. Thank you very much. I had a problem with the mute button.
That's okay.
Thanks. Beautiful answer.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Zoe. Oh, I think I missed, sorry. Hang on a moment. I think I missed Trish.
Hi, Becky.
Hi, Trish. How can I help,
you?
sweetie? I'm good, thank you.
Thank
you, sweetheart.
I've always wondered about King Arthur and the legends because I've always really related to that and resonated with that. And I'm just wondering, was it a myth? Is it several people? Like just the whole lore around King Arthur of the Round Table?
Of the Templars and all that. I'm not crap with my history.
Well, just that particular figure, like King Arthur, and yeah. Was there such a figure as, yeah.
What's the question about him?
Was he real?
Was
he like one person? Did he actually exist?
Okay. Did King Arthur actually exist? The answer is yes and no, but I need to find out why when I first went in, it was like, did King Arthur exist? It was no. And then it went to yes and no. The legends and the folk tales and the stories of the history is of creation. They create it in order to keep you on a certain path. This path that you're on is also to create a division, a hierarchy, and within the folklores and the folk tales and the history is also to keep you divided from your own natural power each individual has. With King Arthur, I have gone seeing a man with a sword. I'm seeing a man with many men. It's all Watcher energy. It's Watcher energy creation. Why would they create this energy? In the realities, they had to create a war within the masculine and the feminine. That war is then pertained into the physical reality and projected outwardly. You also need a savior, you need a villain, you need the belief that you have to hang on. What I'm seeing is a sword within the heart and the splitting of the feminine. Let me just go into that. Just it's like from the Watchers, and I'm trying to understand why they create, and I'm just seeing King Arthur and a sword down the middle. This has something to do with the genetics. The genetics of the human race, what's been encoded is also many different histories that actually haven't actually happened. These histories in the genetics, if they've passed over the genetics of the different ETs and the different races, where in those genetics are different histories that have taken place. They have plastered their history onto the human race in order for us to create what they've experienced in their physical reality, which ultimately has destroyed them. With that comes different waves of frequencies that the human race has never experienced, but through the frequencies of the DNA and they overlaying our DNA with their DNA, then we started to manifest it in our reality. So no, the original King Arthur was never in this physical reality. He was part of another reality that then his DNA or the genetics of that energy was overlaid into the human race. Therefore, you feel when you remember that you're connected to this energy, but actually this energy is actually a host onto your genetics. That never actually happened. You could go back into your genetics and believe that these things have actually happened, but they're just part of an illusion in your genetics. Oh my God. So many of the histories that have taken place have been experienced, but not in your reality. But they have been overlaid into the genetics of the human race.
Thank you. Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, that's crazy. Oh my God. Okay, thanks, Trish. Zoe?
Hi, Becky.
Hi, sweetie.
So it's like back on this genetics thing. It's quite intriguing. I heard about like a previous ancestor of, well, or some kind of form of the human, like an ancient form called the leaf people. I was wondering if we are expressing some of that, and what parts of them are we expressing, or what they are, and where did they go, or what happened. If you could have a look at people.
You're going to have to give me leaf people. I've never heard of leaf people.
No. Yeah, it was this lady called Oracle Girl. She mentioned that, and there was something about it that resonated. So apparently, yeah, they're like an earlier form of, or an expression of what people were.
Okay, I'll just ask and just see where my consciousness goes.
Yeah.
Leaf people. Okay, leaf people. Leaf. Okay. So I'm just I went into my own consciousness to ask the question, and what my consciousness saying was no, but what then I saw is that where this information is coming from, it's a creation of the individual, but it's not like a complete imagination. She's pertaining lots of different energies that she has within her own soul and bringing it together. So ultimately, it's lots of different frequencies. She's like, it's like creating a jigsaw puzzle and getting the wrong jigsaw puzzle because it's coming from different realities and trying to make sense of it into this reality. So it's like a creation that she's created, but there are real frequencies within it. But they come from different universes and different ways of, there's belief structures in her, there's lots of things. So some of it will resonate, but the leaf people, which is her own creation, I believe. And I don't know exactly, but that's what I'm getting. Sorry.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay.
Yeah, speaking a lot about the multidimensional self trying to ground or something. So maybe that's why there's so many frequencies going on there.
Yeah, it's a bit of a mesh.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Heidi.
Hi, Becky.
Hi
How are
Heidi.
you?
I'm good, thank you.
Oh, that's good. I've had a lot of interference over the last couple of weeks and a lot today. So I have a lawnmower right now and my internet cut out. So I don't know if this question's been asked. So forgive me if it has. Can you hear me? Because this is really loud outside. Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you.
So Canada, I've heard on the weekend that Canada is set to go to a digital currency in May. So at that point, cash and credit cards will be useless. And I just want to know if they're going to be successful.
Okay.
Thank you.
That's okay. Canada currency. So as I stand here, I'm seeing Canada as I go. There is a war going on. So what I'm seeing is that war. The war that's going on is quite strong, but the upper hand, or what I would say, but it is future stuff, goes towards the non where cash is still involved, where it's not digital. It gets squashed and buried, like really squashed. Like I feel like it's gonna. The more they push towards it, the more then the chance of being seen for who's actually doing it, and therefore more vulnerable they are, and therefore the more squashed they get. So it's like I'm seeing like a chess game, but try not to worry, because I don't feel it's gonna work in their favor. Like it may be certain areas of Canada, but it gets squashed, it gets overturned, it doesn't work.
Okay. Oh, that's great.
Okay.
That's so good to know. Thanks so much.
You're welcome. Patricia.
Hi, Becky. Nice to
Hi,
see
Patricia.
you.
Nice to hear
I'm
you.
sorry to hear about your thing, and sending you hugs. Happened to me before. I know the disappointment. I can relate. So I feel for you. Anyhow, what I'd like to ask you about is I just recently learned about this John Ellis water. And it's so this gentleman, John Ellis, invented this distilling machine that makes this highly pure water. Supposedly, he figured out how to, through this machine he invented, how it distills, that it creates highly pure water that's supposed to be really energized and like have a lot of health benefits for us. And supposedly it can also clean up polluted water if you put even, I don't know what amount you need to put into like a bigger water source, like a lake, a stream, an ocean, that it can clean up the water. And if you even put drops of this water, it can even clean up like your own water. So I was just wondering if this is true or if this is just a kind of a scam. So if you can have a look and see.
Yeah. What's the name of it again?
So the man that invented this, his name is John Ellis, and they call it John Ellis, ELLIS water. It's this distilling machine that he invented that makes this water.
Okay. What I'm seeing, it's a functional machine. The advertising, the advertising of this is embellished, so it's obviously they're going to make it sound really good through the advertising. I do see lots of testing, and I do see that it's gone through lots of testing, and I see a proudness that is around this distilling machine. So they're very proud of it. It's there is what I'm getting though is that I would wait. This is just advice. You don't have to take it if you want. It's just advice that I'm getting, because it's like cars and the new ones, and they go out and then they come back and it's faulty, and then they start. So they're going to enhance it over the next 6 months, and that enhancement will be much better than today. So the enhancement, so you'll get a much better thing in a few months' time than you would today. That's just advice.
Okay. So then does it have health benefits, and does it clean polluted water? Or is it sort of a wait and see how, because I'm not sure if the man's living anymore. So I'm not sure if he's still around, if they're still.
What I saw in the journey is that they've tested it, and it cleans water, and it does what it says. I mean, they may make it sound better, through the advertising, but it actually fundamentally it does sound like there's like a lot of proudness around this product, and it doesn't come across like really funky energies or anything like that, or dishonesty or any like manipulation energies. Didn't feel any of those frequencies. So I would say this is a good product. But I would say that it will be better in a few months' time.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're so welcome. You take care.
You too.
Bye. Elaine.
Hi, Becky.
Hi, sweetheart.
This you may have come across before. I'm sure somebody must have asked about David Icke before. Have you done a journey on David Icke before?
I think maybe a little bit of him.
It's just I've followed him for sort of like 25 years, and I've just got, major concerns about whose side he's on. And I wondered if you would have a look.
Oh, bless. I love David Icke. I do. He was like a real big part of my awakening.
I know. He was mine too, but I don't know, recently I've had my concerns, so it would be really good to, to know for sure.
Okay. I don't want to look. Oh, yeah. Okay. See if I can. Okay, weirdly, as I stand here, his energy, soul energy, has come straight to me, like bang. Just it looks very similar to walks. Ask if you would walk with me. If I could walk with him. He's showing me his energies here on Earth, saying he's got trapped. It's not bad, not dark, but he's trapped in the physical reality, in the sense that he's trying to change the physical reality, and part of his journey was to make awareness, huge awareness to the human race, and he's done amazing work in that. However, he has got lost in trying to change the physical reality, as many reporters, you know, if you look at them there, you know, if it's Russell Brand to the big names that are talking about the conspiracies, they are trying to change it. They're trying to get rid of the reptilians' energies, but they're actually, them become part of it. They stop living truly from who they are, and what he's saying is that he's lost a certain key in his own development. He's trying to change the physical reality and therefore gets lost into the old frequencies that he's trying to change. He starts to fight the old frequencies, and when we fight the frequencies, we become the frequencies. He will find his way again. He's saying he's not been bought, he's not been he's been highly attacked, and he's been highly manipulated, and he's been but he hasn't really got to the root of healing and how healing actually works. He has to face himself. That facing of self he's trying to avoid, as he's trying to avoid responsibility. He'd rather blame this responsibility on the dark reality, and that keeps him in the old frequencies. He wants to carry walking with me as we walk into his soul energy. I have a big heart, and that heart is where that opened up. All that frequency of knowledge and understanding came through me as part of the collective, and I shared that with the world and done the best that I can. But as through the energies of sharing that, I got highly attacked. Those attacks came from every place imaginable. You can relate, as you've been through the same thing, but you had awareness that I didn't have, and abilities that I was not savvy to, and I got lost within myself. I will find my way back, and it will happen. There has been a lot of pain, of personal pain in my life that has stopped me going into my heart, and that personal pain I have to face. The personal pain of that I want to blame the physical world on, and that turns me in my frequencies into a denser frequencies. That is what Elaine is picking up. These dense frequencies that I have become what I'm despised in the first place. I despise the people that go around destroying, and I am destroying myself. It's not because I want to see myself in pain, but I can't face the pain of the loss that I've felt. I will wake up out of this, and I will walk the path of my heart again. Something is going to happen, and I will be back.
Fascinating. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Sending lots of love to you.
Thank you, Elaine. Thank you, sweetheart. I think Eugenie, one person left.
Okay, well, that will be a quick.
Hi.
I promise. Hiya. Do you know, I'll try and keep it short. It's about the toothpaste we use. I'm not sure if you've looked into it, but obviously you've got dentists, some dentists are saying fluoride is good for the teeth, brush your teeth, ta. Others saying, no, fine, there is an alternative. So, can we look into that?
Toothpaste.
Yeah, is it damaging? Because what the fluoride is supposed to do is supposed to make the teeth stronger. And that's not how the teeth should be. It should be a little bit more malleable rather than made of steel and easy to break and so forth. And the bottom line is fluoride is bad. It's supposed to be an invention against the human. And if that's the case, what's the alternative? And there you go.
Okay. Okay. Toothpaste. As I asked that question, I am now in like a shop, a supermarket, and there's lots of different toothpastes on it, fluoride, non-fluoride. Your toothpaste, unfortunately, has been infiltrated by many chemicals, not just fluoride. You've been distracted by fluoride, as many have heard of the dangers of fluoride that's taking place. Please remember that consciousness is stronger than anything, and as you can overturn your genetics that has been embedded into your physical bodies, then you can overturn the frequencies, the chemical frequencies that lay within your toothpaste. So I would not worry too much or be too fearful of these frequencies. It's the unconscious that things that start to happen. But as your consciousness rises and you become more stronger and strength within yourself, the consciousness, your own consciousness, just like flushes out the frequencies within your bodies. This is how powerful you are. However, natural toothpaste does exist, and if you wish to go down that path, then it is something that you can find. I don't, personally, it's just what my consciousness is saying. If you look at the history of fluoride, for instance, it worked in a certain way in 1950s. However, the consciousness level that's risen, you are completely different human beings from the 1950s to now. You are considered geniuses compared to beings back in that time frame. Therefore, your reactions to the chemicals that lay within your foods, to your toothpaste, can be completely overturned. Your teeth do need to be cleaned, and they do need to be looked after. And then looking after your teeth is an important task that can't be ignored. And with each tooth, you hold many different frequencies. They represent different paths of your frequencies, different modes of different areas of your brain. Each frequency of each tooth is different from one tooth to another. And depending on the frequency will depend on the manifestation of that tooth. And therefore, looking after your emotional self and your emotional and mental well-being is also important when looking after your teeth. And that goes for any physical body. Your body is a representation of your mental and emotional well-being. And as that, the problems that you've had with your teeth in your histories is because of the overlaying of your DNA. The overlaying of your DNA has deteriorated the body and also has deteriorated the teeth. And therefore, overturning your DNA through the understanding of yourself also overturns the decaying and the problems that you inherit when you come into the physical body. And therefore, the concentration of looking after the teeth has been high because the teeth has been very much under attack through the genetics of the human race. These genetics, as I've said earlier on in the Q&A, have been designed to also bring down the degenerative of the physical body. And the teeth is been hugely targeted in this area. Reason being is, sorry, and then stop there. Why did I stop? Just looking at, I'm just having to learn here. by myself. The teeth are connected to your brains, and therefore deroding the teeth is also a representation of the erosion of the masculine physical reality. It is a representation also of the lack of feminine in your physical reality. If you go back many generations and as you have evolved, your teeth have got better and better and stronger. And that is not, that's one way of you looking after your teeth, but also the other way of you looking after your mental, emotional well-being. Does that help?
Good stuff. Yeah, it does help. Every little helps.
Great stuff. Thank
Super.
you for
Thank
the
you so much.
question. You're welcome. Okay. With everything that's happened, I'm having a break for a couple of weeks. There's going to be no Q&As, and I'm going to do everything, even the healing groups, the gold and the diamond. They're all going to happen at the end of the April, the end of the 2 weeks. So you'll get like a healing, the end of 2 weeks, and the Q&As. So the next Q&A won't be till the 19th. And then I'll do the other one on, I think, the 30th. It will be on a Sunday. It'll be an earlier time. There is, I will be taking one-to-ones, but I won't be booking. I think they're in like June now. And Toto is on board. You're going to be seeing more of Toto. I think with everything that's happened, I'm bringing him on more, and he's going to be part of like level. I'm going to get more involved in the courses, and also there is 5 students. So if you do have, if you do want a one-to-one at a much cheaper price and would like to experience, there is 5 amazing ladies that have done level 1, level 2 and level 3, and you can book a one-to-one with them. And also Toto, if it's like really serious stuff, and then go to Toto. But if it's stuff that you feel that these lovely ladies can deal with, then look on the website and I'll give you an idea of them. There will be courses released at the beginning of April, which is next week. So watch out for those. A newsletter will go out for that, and they'll start in June. And I think that's it. So yeah, just sending all my love. Thank you for all the lovely support, and thank you for coming tonight. And I'll see you all soon after my break. Okay, love you lots.
Have a lovely week.
Love you.
Love
Take
you,
care.
Becky.
Bye.
Becky.
Bye, Becky.
Bye. Bye.